My apologies for that. I somehow killed the first feed. So this is part two. If you're just joining me, I was just over at the community gardens over there, and I'm walking back to where I left the car, over on Albert Street South at OK Tire. If I dumped you unceremoniously and you have returned, I'm sorry about that. If you're just finding me, there's a whole first part of this walk where you can see the community gardens. Or just walk with me now. It's about 40 minutes out to here, so I'm assuming it's going to be about the same back. It might be a bit faster because I was way down there. I've already made some of that back coming this way, plus I'm walking on pavement and not on rough ground, so I can pick up the pace a bit. I'm on Shannon Road, which will curve, but if I go up, when I'm on Grant Road, I don't want to attempt to do a shortcut and get stuck, so we'll just stick to Grant Road. I know where it goes. I don't think I'd save anything by going to the right. Grant doesn't curve to the left at all. It curves around toward the direction I have to go anyway. So it'll just be a nice walk through a residential neighborhood now. Going back. Check out some houses. Dog barking inside, who's aware I'm here, even though I can't see him. Emerald Park Road. If you go up in there, you can really get turned around, winding and twisting roads. So I'm guessing 60s for these houses, maybe 70s. I think 60s. They look like Brady Bunch houses. Make sure this is focused. Shannon Road. So I was down on Shannon Road, or south of it. Glimpses of people's gardens in the back still, or in the front in some cases. Little Japanese or Chinese thing going on there. Oh, bingo. Someone with a stroller. Blue is for recycling, green is for yard waste and kitchen compost stuff. Although as far as I know, they don't really have a place to put that, so I don't know what they're doing with it right now. And brown is garbage, in case you're wondering, which you may or may not have been. Wind chimes. Oh, there's a nice fountain there. Look. Kind of cool. I'm sure the water's recycled, so it doesn't add too much to the water bill, although you lose some to evaporation. That's definitely a Brady Bunch style house. So I'm thinking 60s for this neighborhood. Possibly 50s. And some probably a bit later. 60s, 70s. Let's go with that. Another curving road in that direction, which might or might not take me in the direction I want to go. So again, I'll stick to Grant. This one I know well. Usually if I'm driving from that side of town to, they've got a little waterfall going on there, look at that. If I'm walking from over on Wascana Drive, not walking, but driving. you're going to go from Wascana Drive to South Albert, you'd probably come along Grant Road. Unless you wanted to go onto the Ring Road, which is faster actually, but it seems like overkill just to go from Wascana Drive to Albert Street. But if you did miss part one of this and you want to go back, I walked mostly along the edge of the Ring Road over to my left, through a nice grassed and treed area, kind of the buffer between the houses and the Ring Road. Although it does have gaps in it where the trees have died. But it's a bit like walking in a forest, except for the busy road 100 meters to your right the whole way. My right shoelace is untied too, so I'm going to have to try this again, hopefully without losing you. So here we go again. I will be careful that I don't touch the wrong thing this time. So there'll be you'll get a look up into the sky there while I tie my shoelace. Might even get a glimpse of me, I don't know. Okay, I'll be careful not to touch the end button there. And we're back. No loss that time, doesn't look like. No, still going. There's a nice yellowy tree. Which one is this? It's called a place. You definitely want to go down a place. Oh, no, definitely not. This one wouldn't take me anywhere because it's just a little cul-de-sac. Bagshaw Place. It's kind of like Bag End. You expect hobbits to live there. Then we get Castle Road, when I know that one well. I think I used to turn there when we went to Regina Lyric Light Opera Board meetings up that way a bit. I think this is where we turned. 30. Anyway, it curves the wrong way, so definitely not taking that one. Or that might have been further up where we turned. That's been many years too. That's how I met my wife, though, being on the board of Regina Lyric Light Opera, now Regina Lyric Musical Theatre. All right, there's one of the parks. Or green spaces, anyway. Over there. Not very green at the moment. It's a big open space anyway. We curve around to the right again. Towards the north. Or possibly the west, because again, of the way these roads turn, the sun is actually off to my left. So actually turning more west now, I think. Not really turning north. Go back through that park behind the school if I can. Let's get up there. Birchwood Road to the left. I think as we go this way, we're getting older houses. They tend to be smaller. These definitely have more of a 50s look even, I would think. Because of course I think of the houses I knew as a kid, I think of those as 60s houses, but they were mostly built in the 50s probably, or earlier. So I was born in 59, so anything before 59 seems like ancient history. Of course to my daughter, anything back in the 90s, before she was born, so it's ancient history. And the current crop of kids going to school, anything before 2010 was going to be ancient history. 2015. That's just the way of the world, but it's really annoying as you get older. I think that's our park up there. Definitely shorter coming back than it was going. More direct and faster walking because I'm on sidewalk. I'll stop. Interesting little windmill thing on top of this wishing well. That's an old-fashioned yard decoration. Our neighbor, who lived in the house next to us for 50 years, at least, lived to be 100, although he did move out in his 90s. They had a wishing well. Not quite that grand, but same idea. This is one of the parks up here. It's not the one I was thinking of, a bit further yet. You can always recognize the parks by those blue signposts. Oh, look, here's a TARDIS. Must be a little free library. Or else it's their mailbox, I don't know. Yeah, this has to curve around to the right before I would hit the park, and I'm on the wrong road for that, so I don't think I will hit that park unless I find the right way up to my right here. So that might be, if I risk it, I think I'll stick to Grant Road. I don't repeat myself. I remember walking by that, going the other way, before I turned down to take the path along the ring road, so they're really tearing it up. Some sort of major infrastructure replacement. Oh, you missed your chance. This one's sold. Oh no, this is Mike Vadden Park. Okay, yeah, that was much faster coming back than it was going. So I'll go in here and take the more scenic path because the kids will be in their classrooms and not out in the playground. The scenic path down this way with that wooden fence on the left, which is an interesting feature of this park. And we'll see Whitmore Park School come into view around the corner. When I came by before, were kids all over the place, which I don't particularly like to walk through. So I thought I would come. I went up that way, and now you can come through here. They aren't around. It's a public park. It's not their playground, but it is their playground as well. And there's a outdoor rink up there. Obviously, nobody's skating in it right now, but it's there. I actually want to go that way. I think I do. Sometimes I look over the sides at the creeks, but there's no creeks here. If we go up here, we can take a look at the oh, I'm kind of stuck on the wrong side of it. Do I climb the fence? I think I do. Well, it's not a very high fence, so I'm pretty sure I can manage it. There you go. That will be a skating rink in about 3 months, if not sooner. And here's the school up here. So they're also lucky to have a skating rink this close to the school. I'm sure they make good use of it too in the winter. Phys ed. I performed in Prairie Opera in that strange little gym there. Very round, very live, not a good place to sing. There's a new house over there. Big brown one. So I didn't walk by the school when I came down, but I will this time. There's a crosswalk here I'll use because I need to get over on the other side. Don't know what happens if I go down there. I might get stuck, so. I think it curves the wrong way. This takes me a little out of my way, but I don't think there's a straighter way through. There might be, but I would have had to take that road, and I wasn't sure. There should be, but I just end up on the wrong side of Gordon Road, so. Worked up a sweat, despite how cool it felt when I first started. Again, that's Whitmore Park School over there. A little further up, we'll come to the three-way stop, and then we're practically back to OK Tire. That's a crescent, so I wouldn't want to take that. Marsh Crescent to my left. Which way does it curve? Well, it might work. I just end up on the wrong side of the street, but I think I'll stick to this. I know for sure where I am. I know for sure I'm about ready to get back to the car after how long to here? Well, this is just about 20 minutes, and it was about 40 minutes before, so this is about an hour since I started walking. But yeah, much faster coming back. It's only going to be about 25 minutes at the most before I get back to the car. It was 40 minutes when I turned around at the other end. And part of that time was spent walking through the community gardens, which is a reason you might want to go back and check the first part of this walk. I'll just post them as part 1 and part 2. I won't try to splice them together. Always more walks where those came from. As I'm coming up on 2.5 years. Yeah, it is 2.5 years since I started these walks. And they're all still there on YouTube. Okay, we will cross here at the stop sign. It's always the safest place to start. Let's cross at the 3-way stop sign. A very safe place to cross. As the cars have to stop, they don't. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's a nice wide street, gives you lots of room. Lots of room. Lots of room. With apologies to the Sound of Music. Rodgers and Hammerstein. That was only... No, I guess it was kind of a take on the Hammerstein part as well as the Rodgers part. So. Doe, a deer, a female deer. It's hard to stop once you start that song. Ray, a drop of golden sun. See what I mean? Me, a name I call myself. I'm stuck. Far, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. To follow, so tea, drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do, do, oh, oh, do, etc., etc., etc. Do, re, mi, fa, so, ta, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, do, do. Look out, crows. What has attracted the crows to the bottom of that tree? Looks like a squirrel, or what's left of a squirrel. We don't need to focus in on that too closely, but that's what they're there for. Little squirrely roadkill. They'll be back. It's the circle of life. Here's Albert Street. Now I could go down the alley again, or I walk in front this time. I think I'll walk in front since I went down the alley last time. Actually, this is a driveway. The alley doesn't go through, except on this little grassy bit here. You could get back down to the alley. But I will walk in front this time by the Shell station here. There's the Starbucks down there at Chapters, but that's a bit out of the way. There's one right across the street at the Save on Foods, which is where I plan to go with my computer here in a minute or two. I do believe there's a sidewalk up here, which we will get on. So there's the Shell station. McDonald's, I walked behind it last time, and the drive-through. There's OK Tire, dead ahead, so almost there. South Albert, of course, is all commercial, right up to 25th, I guess, Parliament? 25th. Then it turns back into residential. Imagine the drive-through has calmed down since I'm not quite as early here at McDonald's. I still remember back when McDonald's used to tell you how many billions they had served. I don't know when they quit doing that. They eventually got to billions and billions, and then they just quit. And of course, all their restaurants got redesigned. So this current one, and this McCafe thing came in. Trying to be a coffee shop as well as a McDonald's. Dandy's on the other side of the street there is a wonderful ice cream shop. Oof. And a bit of a strip mall here. Venice Taylor's I've been in. That's where my daughter bought her grad dress, high school grad dress. There's also over there, oh good grief, now we've got a discount cannabis store. People who only want the cheap stuff. I don't understand cannabis users. It doesn't see where the appeal ever came from. And I can't understand why people smoke either. And they're both forms of smoking, so I just don't get it. However, it's legal here now, so you smell the smoke around quite a bit. I remember some RCMP guy coming into high school and letting us smell what marijuana smelled like, and it sticks in your head. Comic readers there is what it says, board games, manga, graphic novels, toys. And then the first time I think I smelled it in the wild was at the football field at my university. Somebody who had it was on the visitor side, could have gotten expelled from the school, from the home side, but someone on the visitor side was smoking it, and we were in marching band, and I smelled it drifting across the field. This is Havoc, which is a clothing store. But we are going here to OK Tire, pick up my computer, see where we're at with the car, and that's the end of my walk, for real, in 2 parts, unintentionally. Thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.